If you're looking at getting a new website, I'm willing to bet there's one question that's top of mind, probably way before you're even thinking about colors or fonts. It's the big one. And today, we're going to finally get a real answer.
There it is. The question every single web agency hears. And honestly, the one that can feel like they're trying to dodge. You ask for a timeline and you get this kind of vague answer, this super wide range. But why? Why is it so hard to get a straight number? Let's get into it. And here it is, the classic industry standard answer. 4 to 12 weeks. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a number. But just think about that for a second. 4 weeks is a month. 12 weeks? That's a whole quarter. An entire business quarter. That range is so huge, it's pretty much useless. It tells you nothing about your specific project.
Exactly. That 4 to 12 week window is really just the headline. The real story, the details that actually matter for your business, they're all hidden inside that range. And that's what we're going to unpack right now.
So where does that massive difference come from? It's not just a random guess. That gap between a 1-month project and a 3-month project is all down to a few key variables. It really all comes down to what you're actually trying to build.
I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes so much sense, right? You wouldn't expect a custom-built mansion with a pool and a home theater to take the same amount of time as, a simple garden shed. Of course not. Websites are exactly the same. The scope and the complexity are what dictate the schedule.
And this is the why behind it all. Things like, how many pages do you need? Are we talking 5 pages or 50? Is it a totally custom design from scratch? Or are we using a template? Does it need a complicated back-end system to manage users or products? Does it need to talk to other software? Each one of these things adds its own layer of time.
And check this out. This shows you how one single choice can totally blow up the timeline. Just look at the difference here between custom design and a template. Going custom can take weeks because it involves deep research, strategy, and crafting a unique experience that actually reflects your brand. A template, yeah, it's fast, maybe a week, but what you're getting is a generic off-the-shelf look. The timeline directly reflects the value you're building into the site. So, knowing all these variables, how do professional agencies actually manage it all? Well, they don't just jump in and start writing code. They follow a really structured, phase-by-phase process that turns what could be chaos into a predictable series of steps. And this is what that professional plan actually looks like. It always starts with discovery and strategy. That's where you figure out what you're even building and why. Then you move into design, then development, which, as you can see, can be the longest phase. But crucially, look at what else is here. Dedicated time for content, for testing, and for the actual launch. Every single phase has a purpose and its own block of time. Now here's the kicker. This is so important. Most people assume the big delays happen during coding or design, but nope. More often than not, the real bottleneck is content. Projects grind to a halt because the agency is just waiting for the client to send over the text, the images, the product info. So your own readiness is a massive factor in hitting that deadline. Okay, so this brings us to a really important warning. Because somewhere out there, you're going to see these super tempting offers, right? A new website in 48 hours, or get online in 1 week. And while speed sounds amazing, you have to ask yourself, what's being cut out to make that happen? I mean, just look at the difference. It's night and day. The 48-hour site skips every single critical step. There's no discovery session, no custom design, no real testing for security or speed, and absolutely zero thought is given to SEO. And the result? It's a site that, more often than not, has to be completely rebuilt in 6 months. You end up paying twice. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? A website isn't just a task you check off a list as fast as you can. It's a core business asset. It should be generating value for you for years to come. Investing the right amount of time upfront is what saves you massive headaches and money down the road. Okay, so let's make this practical. When you get a proposal from an agency, how can you tell if the timeline is realistic or if it's just a sales gimmick? Let's look at the green flags to look for and the big red flags to avoid. All right, these are the green flags. This is what you want to see. A professional team will absolutely insist on a discovery session before they give you any timeline. They'll break down the project into clear phases, just like we saw, and they'll have separate, dedicated time for crucial steps like testing. It shows they have a real, repeatable process. And on the flip side, here are the warning signs. Any promise of a serious professional site in under 2 weeks should set off alarm bells. If someone gives you a firm timeline without asking you a ton of detailed questions first, they're just guessing. And if they're not transparent about their process, it probably means you have no idea what you're actually paying for.
So after going through all of this, it becomes pretty clear that maybe we've all been asking the wrong question from the start. The real insight here is that the timeline isn't the goal. It's just a symptom of the strategy. And this right here is the key takeaway. When you shift your focus from how fast can we get this done to how effective can we make this, it changes everything. A great website isn't an expense, it's an investment. An asset that's designed to save you time, make you money, and open up new doors you didn't even know were there. And building an asset like that, well, that is always time well spent.